As with surfing the internet as usual, I end up logging on to YouTube and I check out the new MrBeast video that's released. I finally finish it, but then there's a problem. It seems like a new trend is arising, which is the criticism of MrBeast and the things that he does, and given the fact that he is the #1 creator of this platform, he is bound to have people on the lookout for him. From his high effort and value stunt videos to his large philanthropic giveaways, he's been able to establish himself as the #1 creator on this platform. Now sure, I'm sure anybody can come up with a long list of things that aren't perfect about Jimmy, such as his appearance or his personality being mostly linked to money, but let's cut the crap here. Is there anyone else on this planet doing what he's doing? In the midst of all the hype and chaos, let's see what people have to say. This will be a video response to the criticisms made. Let's go.
He is writing about a terrifying future where every human interaction is reduced to a cold transaction, a world where even kindness is a commodity bought and sold for a profit. He had no idea that over 150 years later, he would describe the career of Jimmy Donaldson, MrBeast, with frightening accuracy.
Okay, it's more accurate to blame a system rather than an individual. Even though we engage in capitalism, Jimmy is just one person. With or without him, he wouldn't make a difference. And besides, he decides to use capitalism in a helpful manner. Whether or not we lived in a capitalistic world is irrelevant. It's the fact that Jimmy just wants to use his platform to help others, and he makes that clear.
We view MrBeast as the internet's greatest philanthropist, a modern-day saint who builds wells and pays for surgeries. But through a Marxist lens, MrBeast isn't the solution to capitalism's failures. He is its final, most dystopian evolution.
Time out, wait a minute. So if we're gonna go by that logic, then how come no socialist has ever stepped up to create a solution? With all this criticism, and had MrBeast and his brand never did the things that they were doing in their videos, then the world has lost somebody that stepped up. Because in the end, if Beast doesn't stand up, then who will?
Has perfected an economy where human desperation is gamified, and charity is no longer an act of mercy, but a high-yield digital asset.
You literally just described how the platform YouTube works, just in a much dramatic tone. You see, the reason why it's on an internet platform like this is so that there's an audience to view and to share these acts of kindness with, and on top of that, the ad revenue and sponsors that can see the amount of views that these videos get can get a promotion for their companies, and in turn give Jimmy the money to fund his videos. Because without any of the resources available for Jimmy to spread his content, there is no possibility for these things to happen.
Marx argued that commodity fetishism occurs when the social relationships between people are masked by the exchange of objects.
Then by that logic, markets are the ones at fault for this. Look at game shows, for example, as well. These involve the excitement of competitors, not because it's just straight up the desire for materialism and objects, but rather the fun that exists between competing with people, then earning more than what you started with. The fact of the matter is that we will always live in a capitalistic world, and it's our role to win and survive.
Jimmy is not a person. He is the personification of capital. By refusing to consume his wealth and instead dumping it back into production, he is accelerating the growth of his beast empire at a rate that traditional charities could never dream.
And so are all of us. All of us that live in the United States or a capitalist-based economy are the ones that are a part of this system too. So long as we walk to work or go to places to purchase things, we all fall under that category, which is why it's redundant to blame MrBeast, and pointing fingers at him would be a blatant example of pure hypocrisy.
Marx described the MCM cycle. Money is converted into a commodity, which is then sold for more money. MrBeast has perfected the MSM cycle. Money is converted into a spectacle, which is then sold for more money.
Right, to finish things up for this video, if you look at MrBeast's channel, it's not solely limited to money. Though money is a big factor in a lot of the videos that he makes, that's just because it's a big factor in a lot of the things that happen in life. See, MrBeast is more of a challenge type of YouTuber, engaging in fun stunts rather than just, oh, money, money, money. But nevertheless, regardless of what economic system we exist in, MrBeast will still find a way to create the best videos ever, because that's his motto, not about the money.
MrBeast content is not good for kids. To do that, we have to look at what came before MrBeast, before the jungle. We need to go back and figure out who was the king of the city park when television programs were carefully curated and controlled. It turns out that that was a man who never tested a thumbnail or checked a retention graph. He didn't care. He cared only about one thing: what his audience was left with after watching him. And 50 years later, people still remember him as the most beloved figure in television history.
Now, as much as I do like and respect Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and his show, there's still a lot of points that I think are not valid. First, it's the comparison of two totally different time periods. One being from the late 20th century, the 1960s and 70s, and one where it's modern era, which is the 2020s. It's as clear as day as Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood was a show clearly targeted for children, but MrBeast, on the other hand, is a rather more mature type of production, targeted towards audience of a wide range. He's not solely just for kids, though kids can find enjoyment in his content, which makes this comparison redundant.
In a harsh way, you could say that MrBeast is almost the opposite of everything Mr. Rogers stood for.
I am sitting on $5 million in cash and competing for it. Open again!
MrBeast and Mr. Rogers represent two completely different philosophies. This hits close to heart because I recently became a dad myself. And I know who I would want my daughter to grow up with. Mr. Rogers, right? And I think most people would. And not because MrBeast is evil, but because I don't think it's good for her. It's a distraction. But then again, would Mr. Rogers even survive in today's media landscape?
Now, as I finished watching the video, I learned something valuable, and it's that comparison is truly the thief of joy. While the original poster did make some great points between the two parties and the type of content they produce, the theme of the video is heavily based off of pure comparison and favoritism over another. And honestly, it just proves that the world is full of difference, and that MrBeast himself is a prime example of him being the most unique out of a crowd. And a lot of the points on the video were based off of subjective opinion rather than objective facts, which makes this case here self-explanatory. Now, outside of just these two videos, there's a bunch more that pretty much repeat the same points that were made in the previous ones used in this video. Therefore, I won't go too deep into them. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents on the whole criticisms. Overall, I think the points made are pretty much too exaggerated and are overgeneralized. I do think too much blame is put on Jimmy as an individual, and instead of rather putting some blame on the environment or the world that we live in and the circumstance that we're put in. A guy just trying to make change and following his dreams has to deal with a lot of points that obviously come from people that aren't fully satisfied, and that's what comes from life. Generally, you can't satisfy everybody, but yeah, that's just my opinion on everything, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people would disagree with me, and I'm sure there's some people that would agree with me. Anyways, what do you guys think? Let me know down below, and thank you guys so much for checking out this video. Y'all have a great one, take care, and peace.